Welcome to Minh Tuesday Wisdom Path, where every story serves as a guiding light of Dharma amidst the darkness of ignorance. In the midst of life's endless turmoil and uncertainty, let us take a quiet moment together to listen, to reflect, and to rediscover the peace and wisdom that already dwell within our hearts. Dear friends, in a world filled with noise, chaos, and relentless competition, anyone whose heart leans towards the Buddha, who strives to live with kindness and virtue, will surely find solace in the teachings of Master Minh Tue. His words have the power to soothe restless souls and gently dissolve the burdens of suffering and karmic obstacles. Master Minh Tue is not a small wave meant only for other small waves to follow. His wisdom is a silent yet powerful current, flowing steadily back to the great ocean, quietly guiding countless lost hearts toward the light. He seeks no fame, no recognition, yet each word he speaks is like a drop of pure, clear water, quietly seeping into the hearts of those who listen with sincerity. If you are destined to encounter these teachings, if you truly open your heart and mind to listen and understand, these 44 sacred sayings distilled from the long, solitary path Master Minh Tue has walked, will become a compass for your soul amidst the vast, stormy sea of life. These are not mere words of advice. They are profound life lessons, worthy of deep contemplation for a lifetime. Set aside a few peaceful moments to listen to each teaching, and within them, you may find tranquility, awakening, and a deeper sense of life's true meaning. They are not empty phrases. They are the distilled essence of a lifetime of insight, a lantern lighting the way for those who have lost their path in the shadows. Cherish them, hold them close to your heart, and day by day, step by step, you will draw nearer to the shore of true peace and lasting happiness. Now, let us begin. Here are the 44 sacred teachings of Master Minh Tue, timeless words for us to reflect on over the course of our entire lives. 1. In mid-July 2015, while working, I happened to hear the Buddhist teachings. From that moment, I made a vow to eat one vegetarian meal a day, read Buddhist scriptures, and observe the precepts for 6 months. 2. I realized how noble the Buddha's purpose was, and it stirred a deep aspiration within me to renounce the worldly life and become a monk. 3. At first my parents did not agree. Later, though they accepted my decision, they offered to divide part of the family inheritance for me, just like my siblings. But I refused. I only asked them to sign the papers to officially allow me to leave home and ordain. 4. When I first entered monastic life, I didn't understand much. It felt like being a first grader, slowly learning step by step. Thanks to the guidance of others, I gradually gained deeper understanding. At one monastery where I studied, I was given the Dharma name Thich Minh Tue. After some time, I realized it wasn't the right place for me, so I left the temple and sought solitude in a mountain cave. 5. Each day, I went out to seek alms for food. Though the Buddha never strictly commanded it, I chose to sleep sitting up for 3 consecutive years, never lying down. I wished to break the habit of indulging in sleep. When exhausted, I would lean against a tree or a wall to rest. 6. After staying in one place for too long, I realized I was missing opportunities to confront and overcome my inner attachments of greed, anger, and ignorance. So, I decided to begin walking from South to North Vietnam, then back again. Eventually, my journey extended beyond borders, to Laos, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and now India. I dare not say when this journey will end. 7. I chose to keep my Dharma name Thich Minh Tue instead of my birth name, La'ana Tu, when I had not yet made the vow to pursue supreme enlightenment. Life was ordinary, but once that vow was made, countless tests came my way. Beatings, insults, illness, all these trials arose to test my resolve to see whether I could overcome and conquer the 4 great sufferings: birth, aging, illness, and death. For example, physical pain often comes first, testing whether I fear it or can endure. 8. Before ordaining, I had a job like anyone else, yet I felt no true happiness. I realized that no matter one's title, position, or financial security, in the end we all grow old, fall ill, and die. I would be no different. 9. I yearn to study the profound, wondrous, and supreme teachings of the Buddha, meditation, wisdom, and liberation from suffering to attain true peace and happiness. 10. I practice exactly as the Buddha instructed, without altering or making assumptions. To this day, I have yet to achieve deep meditative absorption, and I continue to train and cultivate. 11. I became a monk with one sole purpose, to seek liberation. Only upon attaining supreme enlightenment will I be able to repay the immense kindness of my parents. 12. Each day, I request only one meal to sustain this body for practice. I do not store, save, or ask for anything extra. 13. I absolutely refuse to accept money or material offerings from anyone, in any form. 14. The robes I wear are sewn from scraps of cloth I gather from cemeteries or roadside trash bins. 15. I do not wear robes resembling those of other monks, nor do I claim to belong to any particular temple. I wish to avoid borrowing the image of venerable monks or monasteries, as it could lead to misunderstandings, accusations of exploitation, deceit, or wrongdoing that might tarnish their good name. 16. The container I used to receive food is repurposed from an old rice cooker someone gave me. It is not an official alms bowl like those of the monastic Sangha. 17. Life is impermanent. We live today, but who knows if we'll be alive tomorrow. That's why I must hurry to ordain. If I were to die tomorrow and lose this body, I would no longer have the chance to practice. 18. Some people ask me if I see anything when sleeping in cemeteries. I say it's not entirely true that I see nothing. Sometimes I glimpse a dark shadow passing by, but it doesn't affect me. To me, seeing or not seeing is the same. 19. Now I see everyone as my brothers, my sisters, my fathers, and my mothers. 20. In my heart there's no more selfishness or hatred. I see all sentient beings in this world as equal. 21. Now, even if someone scolds me, I still consider them a friend. 22. If someone beats me, I still wish them well and pray for their happiness. 23. I sincerely wish for everyone to find happiness. 24. People shouldn't study fortune-telling because it can be right or wrong. The Buddha never taught fortune-telling. If fortune-tellers were truly capable, they would have predicted their own future first. 25. Instead of learning fortune-telling, people should learn morality and precepts. They should strive to keep the 5 precepts: no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no consuming intoxicants. 26. Keeping precepts is the very first essential step in the path of virtue, concentration, and wisdom. Without precepts, one cannot successfully cultivate and attain Buddhahood. 27. Practicing vegetarianism and observing the precepts will lead to success in studying and practicing the Buddha's teachings. 28. When people offer both vegetarian and non-vegetarian food, I always choose only vegetarian food. 29. People should not bow to me. They should bow to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. 30. I never call anyone to follow me or film me, but if they wish to, I don't chase them away. 3.1. If filming me brings them some benefit, I sincerely wish for them to be happy as well. 32. To me, everywhere is a temple. I don't place importance on whether one temple is open or another is closed. 33. I walk on foot instead of riding vehicles to train my health. 3.4. I walk barefoot to feel the earth beneath me and to avoid stepping on insects or other living creatures. Besides, shoes wear out faster than my feet. 3.5. The happiest person is the one who owns nothing valuable because they have nothing to worry about protecting. 36. I possess nothing, so I have no fear of being beaten or harmed for my belongings. I'm not afraid of death because I have nothing to cling to or regret holding on to. 37. Some ask me, how can you sleep well in a cold leaf hut in the middle of the forest compared to a warm room with a cozy bed? I answer, still very well. Because according to the Buddha, wherever you sleep, if your mind is free from lustful thoughts, you can rest peacefully. 38. When reciting the great compassion mantra Dai Bai, one must have a clear purpose. If it's only to seek peace or to ward off spirits, then it's like doing harm to them. I don't wish to fight for peace or a dwelling place with anyone, even with the ghost. That's why I don't study or recite the Great Compassion Mantra for such reasons. 39. Whoever insults or curses me, I don't get angry. Instead, I wish them luck. And if someone praises me, I stay calm, not letting pride take hold, and also wish them happiness. 40. Whether people praise or criticize me, speak well or badly of me, it makes no difference to me. But I notice one thing: those who offer me food are often joyful and serene, while those who curse me usually have flushed faces, are agitated, and act unnaturally. But for one, I am not a monk or a master of any kind. I'm just an ordinary Vietnamese citizen like everyone else. I simply wish to practice the path of cultivation, with no intention of preaching or spreading any propaganda. All of the Buddhist teachings are already available online. 42. Only when I attain perfect enlightenment will I have the qualification to preach the Dharma. For now, anyone wishing to learn can go online and listen to the teachings of venerable monks and the scriptures of the Buddha. Everything is already available. But 4.3 We should offer food, robes, and necessities to elderly monks and those living in poverty. As for people who have strayed from the right path, indulging in a reckless and harmful lifestyle, we should advise them to stop killing, stealing, and to live virtuously by upholding the 5 precepts. That, too, is a form of Dharma giving. For the past 6 years, I have not been affiliated with any temple, nor do I belong to either the Theravada or Mabina traditions. I am also not a monastic under the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, because I feel my virtue has yet to reach that level. Dear friends, I am Minh Tue, a solitary ascetic practitioner, following the austere practice of Dhutanga. In daily conversation, I humbly refer to myself as Khan, a term meaning child in Vietnamese, and have never claimed to be a monk or a master. He eats only 1 meal a day, wears patched robes, and sleeps under trees, in graveyards, or in abandoned huts. He strictly refuses to accept any monetary offerings. This unique way of living has recently drawn public attention on social media, stirring a wide range of opinions. Practitioner Minh Tue walks alone, barefoot, clad in a robe sewn from scraps of fabric he collects. His alms bowl is the inner pot of an old rice cooker. He accepts nothing other than the food for his one daily meal. His choice to live without a home is a means to train himself in letting go of ego and relinquishing materialistic desires. However, what has sparked the most controversy is not his ascetic practice itself, but the noisy, curious crowds following him on every alms round. Social media often refers to Minh Tue as a monk, a religious figure, or an ascetic. Yet he consistently identifies himself as a simple, ordinary citizen trying to learn and follow the teachings of the Buddha. He goes on alms rounds to train both his virtue and his physical health. Few people know that Minh Tue was once a land surveyor and also served time in the military. He is an ordinary citizen choosing to practice according to the ancient Dhutanga ascetic tradition, a rigorous path of renunciation dating back to the Buddha's time. In Buddhist history, the most renowned practitioner of this path was Venerable Makusapa, the foremost ascetic disciple who observed 13 austere precepts, an exceptional aspect of Minh Tue's practice is that anyone choosing to follow him must immediately stop if they break any of the Dhutanga rules or turn back to their former ways. He never persuades, invites, or attempts to lead anyone to follow him. As he has often said, I am not a monk nor a master. I'm just a Vietnamese citizen, like everyone else. I only wish to cultivate myself. I have no intention of preaching or teaching. This sincerity, along with his humble words and actions, affirmed through his way of life, has inspired many people to reflect on how to bring greater meaning to their own lives. As he once said, now, I see everyone as my brothers, my sisters, my fathers, and my mothers. In my heart, there's no more selfishness or hatred. I see all beings in this world as equal. Ladies and gentlemen, it is difficult to imagine the sight of thousands of people standing under the rain or scorching sun, camping, and staying up through the night just for a chance to catch a glimpse of Minh Tue, to bow to him from afar. or quietly pay their respects. Some carry young children, others bring entire families as if to pass down to the next generation a sense of faith, reverence for the Buddha, and admiration for a rare, genuine practitioner in everyday life. Some even strive to touch him, as if hoping to feel, with their own hands, the presence of a true renunciant, a living example of what it means to walk the path of virtue in this modern world. In the biting cold of the night and the scorching heat of summer, they all gathered together, united by an unwavering faith. It was as though they had found a glimmer of light in a world shrouded in darkness. For many, the presence of Minh Tue was more than just that of a person. He had become a symbol of compassion, patience, and boundless love. Tears of joy and whispered prayers carried immeasurable hope and belief. Nothing could deter them, for their hearts had found a sanctuary, a place where their souls could be cleansed and restored to peace. In those sacred moments, time seemed to stand still. The noisy hustle of life disappeared, leaving behind only kindred spirits, quietly resonating in tranquility and deep faith. It is a story of belief, steadfastness, and humble, sincere desires that makes each of us pause and reflect. This life isn't just about material pursuits. It's also a journey to seek inner peace and discover deeper meaning within our hearts. The image of people standing under the rain or sun, waiting in silent, sacred hope, reminds us that sometimes the simplest things are the most precious. They are the very source of strength that carries us through life's trials. The story surrounding monk Minh Tue has even captured attention from international media. In Vietnam, countless articles have been written, offering varying opinions. Some praise, others criticize, some defend, while others express concern, each from a different point of view. Although for over 6 years, monk Minh Tue had practiced his ascetic path in peace and silence. Now it seems that peace and silence are no longer his companions. At present, Minh Tue himself has had to avoid crowds. There have even been people traveling deep into the fields where he once meditated, kneeling in reverence before the very ground he once sat upon, even though he had quietly left that place long ago, withdrawing into the remote mountains to avoid unnecessary disturbances. Devout Buddhists who truly understand the 13 austere ascetic practices know well that this is a form of rigorous spiritual discipline that dates back to the time of the Buddha himself. Those who strictly observe these practices are known as foremost ascetics, and one of the most distinguished was Venerable Mahakassapa, one of the Buddha's 10 great disciples. He practiced these austere disciplines until the Buddha himself advised him to stop due to his advanced age and declining strength. Yet, with unyielding determination, Mahakassapa respectfully requested to continue his practices until the very end of his life. The Buddha praised and honored his courage and unwavering diligence. Over the course of more than 2,600 years, many have quietly followed this challenging path. In Vietnam, King Tran Nhan Tong is a shining example. He relinquished his throne, left behind worldly attachments, and entered monastic life. He practiced and propagated the path of detachment and renunciation, advocating for the cultivation of the 10 virtues and a life of moral purity. He was venerated as Truc Lam Dai Tao Da or Wang Van Dai Tao Da, a Zen master who traveled far and wide to teach and encourage people to live virtuously and uphold the Dharma. He was a brilliant example of a true messenger of the Tathagata. However, it must be understood that practicing the 13 austere ascetic practices is no easy task. It demands extraordinary patience, perseverance, and tremendous willpower, no matter how many of the 13 ascetic practices one can follow. Each brings significant benefits to one's spiritual cultivation. In essence, these practices are not compulsory monastic precepts, but powerful methods designed to support practitioners on the path of renunciation, gradually detaching from sensual desires, delving deeper into meditation, and ultimately attaining liberation. Those who undertake the ascetic practices must confront countless challenges, both physically and mentally. They overcome the attachments of craving and clinging things that are extremely difficult for ordinary people to let go. of thus anyone capable of practicing even a part of these ascetic disciplines is considered highly respectable within the spiritual community. In today's context, the image of Master Minh Tue is truly a rare phenomenon. He strongly evokes the image of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni from ancient times. Master Minh Tue is no longer merely an ordinary monk, but a living embodiment of wisdom, compassion, and the Buddhist teachings in the modern world. His pursuit of the 13 ascetic practices serves as a clear testament to the Buddha's words. Renounce wealth to seek poverty, renounce the body to seek the way. It is precisely this silent and pure dedication that illuminates the sacred, profound values the Buddha once taught. In today's society, although many Buddhists still profess faith in the three jewels, a genuine understanding of authentic Buddhist principles remains shallow. This has led to the unfortunate exploitation of original Buddhism, a path meant to liberate people from material attachments and suffering, by certain individuals who use it as a means for superstition and unscrupulous practices. In such a situation, the life and actions of Master Minh Tue stand as a powerful signal, a refreshing, pure breeze, sweeping away the clouds of delusion in human hearts. He is untouched by the whirlpool of materialism, untempted by worldly fame and status. He leads a simple life, unburdened, detached, and unmoved by the allurements of the mundane world. This is not only a strong affirmation of the Buddhist teachings, but also a profound message about truly understanding original Buddhism, a path aimed toward liberation and purity. In an era where many temples are being exploited by imposter monks, turning sacred places into centers of commercialization without regard for morality or ethics, the image of Master Minh Tue shines as a bright example for those earnestly seeking the true meaning of human existence. He is not a legendary figure, but an ordinary person living faithfully in accordance with the spirit of the Buddhist teachings. In truth, it's hard to blame those who, for generations, have lived within a vague and muddled faith. Now, upon encountering a practitioner who genuinely follows the righteous path, they turn to revere and idolize him, sometimes to a level that unintentionally makes his practice path more difficult and troublesome. Unlike the quiet journey, recounted in following the footsteps of the Buddha, undertaken by 100 Thai monks, including several Vietnamese monks from Hien Cang, Sen Phang, and Huc, who participated in 112 continuous days of walking pilgrimage, covering over 3,600 kilometers, the image of the Sangha moving in solemn silence. Their robes neat and dignified left a profound and lasting impression. Meanwhile, the journey of monk Minh Tue and a few other monks who vowed to accompany him carried heavy marks of ascetic hardship. Crowds surged and jostled around them, and at times, the monk's face showed signs of confusion and bewilderment. One can't help but recall how, in ancient times, after the Buddha attained supreme enlightenment, he was venerated everywhere from royal courts to wealthy lay patrons like Anathapindika and Lady Visakha. Even though he was held in such high regard, the Buddha continued to maintain the tradition of daily alms rounds with his monastic community, upholding the practice of the awakened ones before him. Even when King Suddhodana, his father, felt heartbroken seeing his son going from house to house for alms, the Buddha remained resolute, explaining that it was a part of his vow for liberation. His immense spiritual influence caused many other religious sects to feel envious and fearful of losing their positions and benefits, prompting them to create obstacles. Yet in the end, it was the Buddha's boundless compassion and wisdom that gradually transformed all hearts. Even those who once opposed him, if they had the merit, eventually found themselves seeking refuge in the three jewels and taking up the spiritual path. Today, anyone walking the path of liberation benefits from the Buddha's spiritual legacy, receiving reverence, protection, and offerings. Monk Minh Tue's case is no exception. As someone with virtuous roots, with the heart to practice and follow the true teachings of the Buddha, he naturally earned the respect and admiration of many. Not just from Buddhists, even some Catholic priests have spoken in praise of his humility, compassion, and sincerity. However, It's a sorrowful reality that Monk Minh Tue's spiritual path is now facing significant disturbance. Not only the monk himself, but his entire walking group have endured harassment and disruptions. An image that does not reflect well on the current state of spiritual cultivation. Minh Tue now finds himself in a difficult predicament. Whenever he appears in public, he's immediately surrounded by throngs of people, leaving him without the peace necessary for proper practice. So, how can this problem be resolved? How can we return a space of serenity to a practitioner who only wishes to dedicate himself to the path? How can we guide followers to develop mindfulness, to distinguish between what should and should not be done, just as the Buddha once advised? Even actions that aren't inherently bad but serve no purpose should still be avoided. Truly, this has become a karmic trial for Monk Minh Tue, someone who only wishes to live faithfully in accordance with the Buddhist teachings. The monk has always humbly insisted, "I am but a student, still learning." Though people offer him more than he can possibly use in a day, he gently refuses. He has no desire for recognition, yet is now forced to return to his place of residence, which, unfortunately, no longer provides peace either. This, indeed, is a challenging dilemma for him. As the son of the Buddha, each day he knows no other recourse than to quietly pray for peace to return so that his vow may continue, his practice remains unbroken, and the seeds of goodness he's sowing can grow and flourish fully. The alms-walking journey of Monk Minh Tue, though he never claims to be a master or a preacher, has through his pure, austere, and disciplined practice in accordance with the ascetic path, become a living Dhamma in itself. Without giving eloquent discourses, his way of life has become a clear, refreshing stream, rekindling faith in the true Dhamma, which for many years has been obscured by empty rituals and superficial forms. I sincerely hope that this wordless Dharma will quietly ignite an inner revolution within the hearts of many in today's society. As the ancient sutras once proclaimed, the fragrance of virtue travels against the wind, spreading far and wide, and if this silent revolution continues to grow, it will mark a profound revival of the sacred teachings once set in motion by the Buddha. We believe that alongside Venerable Minh Tue, there are still many genuine practitioners quietly walking among us, and when people awaken enough to discern what is true and what is false, the number of those who stand with Venerable Minh Tue and the true Dharma will only increase. Those once misled by false teachers and distorted doctrines will gradually find their way back to the light. This will be an opportunity for the Sangha to cleanse itself, to remove those no longer worthy of wearing the robes of renunciation. Every great religion in history has emerged when humanity fell into crisis, suffering, and disorientation. When society is turbulent, when hearts are burdened with sorrow, and when faith in the present reality grows thin, it is in those very moments that people seek refuge in religion, temples, sacred images of the Buddha, and the presence of sincere monks and nuns become beacons of peace, gently awakening compassion and the pure, radiant nature within each of us. Sadly, many today have fallen into superstitions, visiting temples, not to practice the Dharma, but to chase after fame, fortune, and rituals of appeasement. Unknowingly, they turn spiritual practice into a transaction, creating karmic debts instead of genuine merit. True blessings arise only when the heart is pure, unattached, and seeks nothing in return. Otherwise, any action rooted in craving will only invite further suffering and delusion. In such a world, it is truly a joy to witness the simple, humble, and authentic life of Venerable Minh Tue. Amidst the unfortunate distortions within modern Buddhism, his presence shines like a beacon of hope, quietly rekindling faith in the possibility of a pure, genuine Dharma. And today, Minh Tue's wisdom path has been honored to share with you 44 sacred sayings of Venerable Minh Tue, timeless words, worthy of reflection throughout one's life, capable of dispelling burdens and illuminating the awakened mind within, from the depths of our hearts. We thank you for listening and journeying alongside us here on Minh Tue Wisdom Path. If today's words stirred something gentle within your heart, we humbly invite you to click like, share this video with kindred spirits, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so we may continue walking together on this path toward peace and awakening. Wishing you serenity amidst the ever-changing currents of life.